Welcome back to Travel with Ian. Told you guys back at it with another video. As I promised, I'm here with my friend Zen, and we're going to talk about ROTC, to give you guys more insight, right? So you guys can make the decision whether or not it's worth it joining the ROTC or not, to get your school paid for. So stay tuned after this little intro. Haha. Here we go. So yeah, like I said, I'm here with my friends. And can you introduce yourself?
Hi, so I'm a junior at Delaware State University. My name is Alexandria Hines. I'm an aviation major and I'm a cadet in the Army ROTC program at Del State.
Wow, amazing. So let me stop. So with that being said, so you in ROTC, obviously that's what we're here. So can I ask you why made you join ROTC?
Yeah, so I actually applied for a national scholarship out of high school. I did JRTC all throughout high school, and I kind of knew that going into college that I was going to apply for a scholarship, and that was how I was going to pay for my schooling. So I applied to my colleges, and I applied to the scholarship, and then Del State came up as one of the schools I got an award for, so I came to Del State and did Army ROTC here.
Oh, that's nice. So now you in the ROTC. So you say you applied for the scholarship straight out of high school, and Del State was one of the schools that accepted you or accepted the scholarship. So is there any other way to join ROTC, or is that the only way? So if somebody else didn't apply for scholarship in high school, is there another way to join ROTC?
Yeah, so there's different types of scholarships. The one I got was a national scholarship. If you're prior service and you're the National Guard, you can apply for a Minuteman scholarship. Those are typically 2 to 3 year ones, and those specifically are for the National Guard. And then you can also just join your program at your school, and then as you continue the program and you start to show like promise and stuff, and you actually want to commit to the Army or whatever branch it is, then the program can offer you a scholarship.
Okay, okay. So the next thing on this, so what do you get out of ROTC? So if somebody want to join, but it's like, what's the benefit? What do you get out of joining ROTC?
So the number one benefit is full tuition and fees. So not only are they covering your tuition, but fees that we have like our student activity fee, our computer lab fees, any fee that comes with taking classes or living on campus, they also cover that. So all you really got to pay out of pocket is your room and board and your meal plan. And then you also get a stipend of $420 every month. They break it up into 2 segments, so you get $210 on the 1st of the month, and then the other $210 on the 15th of the month. And that happens so every month while you're in school. And then every semester you get a book stipend of $600, and that goes directly into your bank account. Like they don't give it to the school, it goes to you. And that's the same with the stipend. The stipend also goes into your account. Okay. And that's money that you can use to do whatever you want with. Buy your books, buy supplies, stuff like that.
So they pay for tuition, school. So mainly the main benefit is free school, pretty much.
Yeah, and also if you have other scholarships, you can either do full tuition or you can do a housing allowance, and the housing covers $5,000 a semester. So if your tuition is cheaper than your housing, then you can switch over and have them pay housing, and they put the $5,000 in your account, and then you pay that money to the school.
Okay, so you get a little bit, you get option, between tuition and housing and stuff like that, in case you have all the scholarship, outside scholarship, stuff of that nature. All right, so that's good. So now that you're in ROTC, what is it that you do right now while you're in college for ROTC or for the Army?
So when you sign that contract and you become a contracted cadet, the Army's paying you, so therefore they're paying you to do what's required of you to commission. So we have, as a minimum PT, 3 days a week. Our school does Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some schools do different days, but it's 3 days a week at a minimum. You have to do labs once a week. We do ours on Thursdays. And that's just so you can get the classroom education, the more tactical side of it. PT is the more physical side. And then, of course, we have other events like we do community service that's required for contracted cadets. And we also do field training. So one weekend every semester we go up to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and we do FTX, which is field training exercises. Yeah, and that's to work on the more tactical side of being in the military, because you do commission when you graduate. So we also have stuff like rucks, which we do have to complete a 12-mile ruck each semester, just so that when you get ready to go to camp or advanced camp, your junior summer, you're trained for that. So it's a couple events. What's good about ROTC and in the Army is that a lot of stuff gets done early in the morning. So we wake up in the morning and we finish all of our requirements, and we're done before 7 or 7:30. So you still have the rest of your day to do classes, to fly, to do what you need to do.
Oh, that's good. All right. Now, I think that's how you know this is the National Guard.
Yeah.
But, all right, so you get a lot, you got quite a bit of stuff you do, but you still get some freedom. So I know a lot of people, they think about ROTC, they're like, man, I gotta wake up early, I gotta do all this stuff. So do you feel like you still have enough free time, you know, to have social activities or whatever you want to do on the side, or if you want to do an organization? Do you think it's a lot, you know, with classes you taking, and you got the ROTC classes? So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so for the class requirements, you're required to take one military science class each semester. It's a 2-credit course. And it doesn't count towards your curriculum, whatever your degree program is, but it's a requirement for ROTC. It's, like I said, it's 2 credits, it's not crazy. And you do have free time to do other things. Like I said earlier, you kind of finish all your stuff in the morning. As long as you're diligent and you know that, like, I have to do this, then you kind of plan your week out. Like, for example, I don't take morning classes. I kind of cut off at, like, 9:30, 10. So if we finish PT at 7:30 and I'm tired, I can go take a little nap and then go to my classes. But you still, everything happens so early that you still have the rest of your day. And the first semester was a little tough, but then when you meet your friends, you have people, you know, your battles and stuff. After a while, it's like you kind of get used to it.
Okay, that's little technical difficulties. We back at it. So now, when you graduate, so what's the process after graduation? First, I want to ask you, how long do you have to commit to the Army, and what's the process post-graduation? Do you choose the field you want to get into as far as, you know, your military career? Because I know you want to, you know, you fly aviation, maybe, so you want to fly a plane, or for you, helicopter. So how does that go just as far as like for general basis, as far as for someone who doesn't want to do aviation, but since you want to do aviation, I also want you to get into for aviation specifically. Is it like a different process, you know, stuff like that?
Yeah, so as far as commitment is concerned, your commitment depends upon how long the contract was. So when I applied out of high school, I got a 4-year contract. If you just join the program, I know the Minuteman is 2 to 3 years, and then the program, if you join, they can offer you 2 to 3 years as well. So let's say you get offered a 4-year scholarship like myself, then you're required to give back the same number of years. If you go active duty, it's 4 years. But if you go National Guard, now you're looking at 8 years, because National Guard, you only meet that 1 weekend a month, so that's how they get their time. If you get a Minuteman scholarship, once again, that's from the Guard, so you don't have the option of going active duty, National Guard, or Reserve. You would kind of just do National Guard, and that would be however many years they give it to you. And also for that, if you go active duty, so if you do 4 years active, you have to do 4 years reserve. Okay. So it's still like 8 years per se, but it's not like 8 years active duty. It's 4 years active.
So it's like if you reserve a National Guard, it's 8, but if you go active, you gotta commit 4. Alright, so how as far as for aviation, I know for most part military branches, you know, when it comes to aviation for that pilot side, the requirements, or I mean at least the commitment is a little bit longer.
Yeah, right, so the commitment is longer for aviation. They recently just changed it. So commitment for aviation is now, I want to say 10 years active duty. I think it was 8 and they bumped it up to 10, or it could still be 8 now. I know they've been talking about switching it. Okay. So yeah, it is longer for aviation because they're paying to get you trained to do that. They don't want you to just drop off.
So as far as the training, I mean, as far as selection of career, how does that go about? Do you select your career after graduation or before, or how does that go as far as picking a military career, what you want to do?
So I can only speak on the process that we're doing now. I know the ROTC Army is shifting to Project Agile Leader, which is a whole different process for picking branches. But how it used to work was you would go to advanced camp your junior summer, and then you would take a PT test, you would do a 12-mile ruck, and you would do lanes. And basically there's a scorecard, and they would score you on that, and they'd rank you with every other cadet that went to camp in the entire nation. And they'd have 1 through whatever number, and then you'd write down what your top 3 branches were. So I wanted to go aviation be number 1. I wanted to do active duty be number 1, and then you'd put down your top 3, and then they would go through, and whoever placed first would get their first pick, whoever placed second would get their next pick, and basically it would just go down the list. So and aviation is one of the more competitive branches, so that's how they would get to pick their slots. Now with Project Agile Leader, they were starting to see that people were scoring high and picking these branches, and they weren't staying in the branches. They were switching, or they were switching branches. So now what they're doing is they're looking at what's your major, what are you studying in, what other things do you do in college. So now we can better fit you with the program. So if you were an aviation major and you had your private instrument, multi, CFI, double I, they would be like, in your commercial, be like, oh, well, obviously this person would be a better fit for aviation because they all have
background. So okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. I like the way the Army is shifting because listen, I'm in the Army, and a lot of stuff we do is not very logical sometimes. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're working on making sure it's a better fit for the Army and a better fit for each person.
That's good to know because I remember, having that conversation with one of the recruiter, I don't even know his name, about the Minuteman Scholarship, but what I didn't really like. I mean, first of all, I wasn't really too fond of helicopters, so it's like I wasn't really too impressed to join. And also, what I didn't really like was that process as far as picking
your branch.
My branch and stuff, the little scorecard thing, all that stuff.
And a lot of people that were already prior to service would go, they ended up having to change it to a whole different branch. And it's so they're working on making that more streamlined.
So that's good for somebody who's watching it now who's interested. So it's a good thing to know that, if you're in the aviation major, the fact that they're going to look at the fact that they're going to look at your background, what you're studying, is better, meaning you have a better chance to actually doing aviation, right? So with that being said, what other question I have for you? Think that should be. Is there anything you want to add as far as advice, recommendation, anything you want to tell the people?
ROTC is a great program. It's hard at first, I'm not gonna lie. First semester I was like, man, this is not what I expected. If you do JROTC in high school, JROTC and ROTC are not the same thing. They're not even close. They're not even close at all. But it's a good challenge. There are things that I've done throughout the year where before, if you told me I was gonna ruck 12 miles with 35 pounds of gear on my back, I'd be like, no, I can't do that. But they train you to do that. They train you so now to run 2 miles. Before I was running 19 minutes, 18, 40 something for my 2 miles, and now I'm getting my 2 mile time down. We're in the gym, we're lifting, training for the new Army Combat Physical Fitness Test.
Oh yeah, that's
the Army's all about personal growth, and that's kind of the same thing with aviation too. You can't just be at the same level.
Yeah, you gotta go progress.
Yeah, you gotta always continue to perfect your craft. So it's like you work on yourself a lot, and the Army helps create that standard for trying to become a better person.
Okay, that's nice. So this is a little bit off topic. So obviously you fly a plane right now, but you're in the Army, you won't fly helicopters. So what's the deal about it?
Okay, so I actually came to Dose State as a accounting major. That's what I wanted to do. And then I found out Dose State has an aviation program. And I talked to my parents about it. And I was like, I can get an accounting degree anywhere, but where am I going to learn to fly planes? Nice. So I had already had the Army contract. So when I came to Dose State and we started flying planes, everybody always asked me, why would you're going to the Army helicopters? But the way I see it is, if I can go to Dell State for 4 years and get all my fixed wing ratings and have that paid for. And then I go to the Army and learn to fly rotorcraft free. It's like I can do both. You know, it's kind of like, and if it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, it's only a 4-year commitment. So you still do have the rest, or 8 year. I'm sorry, you still do have the rest of your time.
You stay young.
You get out. You still got time, you know.
So that you actually play. I'd say that's quite smart. So you have both, best of both worlds. So when you're done with the military side of things, so it's like you more competitive on the market, and it's like you always gonna have both the options of either going fixed wing or rotorcraft. You know, certificate don't expire. You know, you just got no
exactly. So you can always go National Guard and then pursue your. You can go You can go to the regionals and you can do both. So
you can do both. Yeah. So
you got options. There's a lot of options with ROTC. It just opens up your what things you can do for your future.
So let me ask you. I was here with Kai last week, and he said the Coast Guard is the best branch. How you feel about it?
Okay, I'm not gonna speak bad on any other branch. I will say that with the Sea Spy program, I feel like there is more commitment that comes with it. Like, we get to keep our breaks. They can't touch us during winter break and spring break. There's commitments that this program has to make during breaks. We don't have to work in a recruiting office. We kind of just do our requirements. But I mean, if you want to join the Coast Guard, join the Coast Guard. If you want to join the Army, join the Army. You know, it's up to you. And there's different programs, different branches, but I will say that it's a pretty sweet gig, Army ROTC. You know, it's pretty nice.
All right. Well, and she told you guys. I mean, that's all I got. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you got any question, I'm gonna make sure I leave an Instagram in the video. Alright, so you guys can ask any more questions if you're interested or not about ROTC. I hope this video helped you guys out. Alright, Charles with Ian. We're back at it. Let's go.